And we are back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers. We are Franklin Football. I'm your humble host, Brandon, and I got my man, Honey Graham. Set it off, Chris, with me. And Chris, as much as we said that the Cowboys shouldn't make moves after losing to the Cardinals, Chris, the Cowboys turned around and made some moves. Made some moves, in my opinion, very constructive, very helpful, and sometimes even downright exciting trades today.
Hey, man. See, there you go. Hey, shake your cup. I just want to see if your cup's in the corner. Oh, yeah, it's full. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's full of that Jerry. It's full of that Jerry Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it's full of that Jerry.
Okay. It's full of that Jerry Kool-Aid. Okay, okay.
But let's go ahead. Go ahead, Chris. You remember Bad Boys 2 when he was like, "That's how you drive." From now on, this how you drive.
No.
I want Jerry Jones to make trades like this moving forward, Chris.
Hey, listen.
Whenever I'm gonna give him blame, I'm gonna try and give him the praise at the times when he does things right.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you get it off because you're so exuberant. And remember, we talked earlier today, and you were kind of on like a 6 at that time. Right now, you're on like 11. So that's like a couple hours ago. So yeah, this is 11. You're over the moon with it.
So
let's go ahead.
First thing, crack of dawn. We got the notification, the Twitter bing. First thing in the morning, right? Well, it's kind of like a whistle or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
go ahead.
And I kind of told you this last night after we got off that Logan Wilson would kind of be in the cards for a trade. And at the crack of dawn, the news of that trade going through dropped, right? The Cowboys traded a 7th round pick for Logan Wilson from the Bengals. Now, I personally think that this is kind of like a smart, pragmatic, and a low-risk trade because I think that when he's healthy, Logan Wilson is a proven veteran. He's a versatile linebacker, heady guy, very, very smart guy.
Kind of reminds you of the guy you got from Chicago, though, right?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because the thing that I think about Sanborn is he lacks the athleticism. I think that Logan Wilson brings more athleticism to the table than what Sanborn brings, especially when healthy.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let you get this off about Logan about Wilson. So go ahead, keep going.
One thing that I did say this. I texted you this after we talked about it, right? I'm kind of adopting your belief system when it comes to guys that are hurt. And I tweeted this.
Okay. I mean, you should run with that.
Yeah.
If a guy gets hurt, go ahead.
Give him a full year. So I will say, this is kind of like a move for the future because right now Logan Wilson's barely. Is he a year from his injury yet? I'm not quite sure.
Not quite sure, but he was benched because he was not playing at the level he was playing prior to his injury. But keep going.
And at the same time, I looked at a little bit of Bengals film. I think that the young guys who they put in weren't really playing as well as Logan Wilson, even when they benched him.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, you've delved a little bit deeper into who Logan Wilson is. Here's my thing. Logan Wilson fits the criteria that Stephen Jones loves.
Yeah.
Okay. Except for the one criteria that he usually bangs on, being young. Okay. Yeah. All right. Logan Wilson isn't. He's on one side of it. Hey, one side. What's going on, big fella? Oh no. Hey.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. I will not jump the broom before I get this out. Logan Wilson fits the criteria that Stephen Jones loves. They have to be young. They have to be talented, but they must be cheap.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he also loves an injured guy. Loves an injured guy. So, being that he's an injured guy, and we need so much help in that area because we've talked about this, ad nauseum. Yeah, we need to be explosive on all 3 levels. Logan comes in, and Logan gives us the ability to kind of start revamping that room, get rid of some of the bodies, and he's kind of like a piece for next year. He'll come in and play these next 6 to 8 games, start to get better, as it goes along, and then hopefully next year he's back to his form.
There we go.
But you're talking about a guy who played on the defense for the last 2 years, has been absolutely atrocious. So he fits right in here.
Well, no. But prior to that injury, he was nice.
But that defense last year. But that defense as a whole was atrocious.
Horrible. Downright awful.
It was terrible. So he fits right in here right now. So he's a piece. He is a piece of the future, which we all have. Which I've said you need about 9 new pieces, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you need about 9 new pieces.
Whole
so
defense
for the most part. And we've got plenty of time, but I think about 7 to 9 guys helps revamp this thing. But he is a piece. I don't like the mindset that Logan Wilson is, Sean Lee. See this thing. Yeah, people are like, because Sean Lee is, if healthy, Sean Lee is probably borderline, probably one of the best, 10 linebackers in the last 30 years for the Cowboys. Let's just go and call it what it is. He was that good, just couldn't stay healthy, and injury cut that guy's career short. But he's a good piece to put on this defense, put in that linebacker room. Him, Sanborn, Luafau, Overshown,
eventually,
Overshown, Shamar James. That's a good blend. You get some of the guys out that that you've never been, crazy about because they can't move their neck like you just did, and Damone Clark and stuff like that. So glad that he's in addition to the team. Definitely love it. But, man, I would be amiss, man. I would be totally out of pocket, man, if I didn't want to give my man Shaheem, man, hey, thank you, bro. I just want, you give people their flowers when you got to give them their flowers.
Hey,
man.
look.
And, I asked you earlier this year, man, go ahead and give me one of them running backs, man. But you wasn't in the business of doing that, bro.
Yeah.
But
so you did one better.
You did one better, bro. So forever, you will always get the heart sign here at Frankly Football, for us being able to pick up the babyface assassin, Mr. Quinnen Williams. Yeah. Bro. Hey, man, I have been crazy about Quinnen Williams since he was at Alabama.
You wanted him this offseason.
I wanted him this offseason without question. I was like, give me the young fella, big upside. We did
get Solomon Thomas.
But Solomon probably wouldn't say, hey, yo, my man is ready to come, and I'm surprised they didn't run that by you, Shaheem.
Yeah. I'm
surprised they didn't, call you up and see if you was cool with that. But listen, Quinnen gives us instantaneous depth, explosion, what you need in your defensive line rotation. He helps you. He's got juice. He's got everything you want. You can mix and match different pairs and things about it. The thing that I wasn't too crazy about was the length of the contract. But me and you kind of talked through it. Why don't you go a little bit more in depth about the contract? That's the one thing I wasn't crazy about.
Filibuster a little bit while I pull it up.
Okay. So, Quinnen is to the point, man, he's in his 6th season. Now, people have been saying, is he on the backside of his explosives because he hasn't been as good the last couple of years? But you got to also remember, man, when you're asked to be out there with little to no support and have to carry things, it becomes a little bit tougher for you, and it wears on your body and as a player. But I think coming here and then being some things added on side, because we kind of want to talk a little bit about last night's game. He adds with him and Clark, or him and Osa with Osa. That's just so many. Or you can go Osa and Clark and Williams. It's so many different variations we can do that, and it may help us with the one thing we haven't been able to do all year is get to the passer. That's one thing we're looking for. That's one thing we're looking for.
So, Chris, you asked about his contract, right?
Right.
The good thing about both Logan Wilson and Quinnen Williams, you have control contractually for the following 2 seasons. Yesterday, I talked about how 2027 would kind of be the year to high for the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
I think that these 2 trades really align with that theory a lot, because you're going to have 2 guys who, yes, they have some cap, guaranteed money, due in 2026. But by 2027, both of their guaranteed money is completely gone.
Right.
In 2021, Quinnen Williams, who I think is still one of the top 2 D tackles in the league right now, especially with Aaron Donald out there, it's really not that close. You're gonna owe him $21.75 million in 2026. Yes, that might be steep, but when you're getting somebody that you could argue is the top of their position, the game.
I mean, I like him. I like Justin Simmons. You got guys in that wheelhouse that just come off the top of your head who are playing really, really good football.
Quinnen Williams, Justin Simmons.
I mean, you put Carter in there. You can put Jalen Carter in there as well. I mean, it's an interior defense. Yeah, interior defensive lineman. But yeah, he's top 5. He's top. He's top 5, top 10. But it's just for what the Cowboys needed. You want to be able to get shore up the run, interior pass rush, and then continue to develop your outside pieces. I think Izzy's doing a really good job. Got his 2nd sack of the season last night, so he's trending in that direction. But we've all said you've got to get explosives at every level of your defense. He's definitely explosive. My problem is, you owe him $20 million next year. You've got Kenny Clark. You got Clark. You got another $20 million next year. But there's no
right there.
And so you got 3 guys at $20 million. So some kind of way you're going to have to make this thing shake. Restructure some things. But your interior it went from a weak spot to a definite strength. And Shaheem, hey man, Mozzie is your guy, man. Enjoy him. Embrace him.
Let me get into the trade compensation.
Okay, go ahead.
A bit. The Cowboys traded a 2026 second rounder,
right?
A 2027 first rounder, and Mozzie Smith. To answer Shaheem's question, Mozzie Smith was our first round pick from 2023.
Man, stud.
He did just enough to get traded.
Yeah, man. Hey, man.
If you want my honest opinions.
No. Hey, Shaheem, you're gonna love him.
Money already changed hands, Chris.
Okay.
Money already changed hands.
Hey, man.
Mozzie Smith. If you don't know, Chris, I don't know if I ever told you this. I don't judge rookies. But I sure enough do judge sophomores and juniors, right? Just going back to high school.
Gotcha.
I sure enough judge 2nd and 3rd year players. Mozzie Smith has not lived up to his time here in Dallas. A lot of times he looked like a guy who didn't really want to be here, especially for the last 2 seasons.
Right.
And one thing, even when he first got drafted, he said this, and this always stuck with him. He talked about how he didn't really like football. He just liked hitting people.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, you can tell that Mozzie Smith didn't really like football.
Yeah.
He looked disinterested. He looked like he had to be constantly
prodded. He had to be prodded and pushed to be able to play. So if you look at it, you went from having a dude who was in the basement to basically in the penthouse player, man.
Hey,
that's what happened to us, I mean, dude, you get the top of the top, man. So hey, listen, it's gonna be a great move for y'all. Y'all were the winners today. Y'all were really the winners.
Oh, because now I'm not even joking. I believe that they were. They were a team. They were a team that needed a rebuild, and they got in total over the next 2 years. They just got 5 first round picks, Chris.
There you go, man. They got
3 second rounds.
There you go. I mean, let's be honest. We've talked about for years about the Cowboys getting fleeced, right? We've said that for a long time. Listen, man, they took Indianapolis to the woodshed.
Yeah.
Okay. That was as close to the great train robbery as you gonna get.
Yeah.
For a cornerback, 2 first round draft picks, right? And a player, you know what I'm saying? They turned around and got out sweet. A guy they didn't want, they were trying to get rid of and went for it. So I think the Jets made out like bandits today. They broke this thing down to the studs. The only problem I have is Aaron Glenn won't be there to reap all the benefits of that.
Nah, I believe that he'll be there next year. He'll get at least next year.
Bro, they don't. Listen, there's a lot of things that we can believe in, all right? Here are my beliefs, bro. Okay, let me get it to you, right? You don't whistle with crackers in your mouth. You don't spit in the wind. You don't tug on Superman's cape. And don't ever think that when your hue is a little bit darker, you're going to get a chance to get all the reaps and rewards of the benefit of the breakdown. They're going to let you take all the losses, all the bad stuff. You're going to get that all on your resume. And then they're going to let some retread come in, get the stud quarterback, stud receiver, offensive line rebuild, and look like he's the smartest man on the planet. So I don't even believe Aaron Glenn's going to get that opportunity at all. That's just me.
I hope so. I genuinely hope so.
Oh, it's hope. Oh, it's hope. It's a lot of hope. But, man, I have just seen it not happen over and over again. Saleh had to go back to the 49ers and be a DC. They never going to give us the opportunity to reap all the benefits of all the good stuff that they packed away. That's what they got. They got 5 first rounders in the next 2 years?
Yeah, in the next 2 years, they got 5 first rounders and 3 second rounders.
And you think they ain't gonna get some retread up there? You don't think that? Come on,
Chris,
dog. Come on, dog.
I would hope that if they're gonna tear the whole team down, at least give the person a chance. At least that 1 year. At least that first year.
No.
But I understand it. I understand how the game goes. I understand how the game goes.
Okay.
So I just hope that it will be a little different.
Hey Shaheen, when Aaron Glenn gets fired, right? I'm gonna call an emergency podcast, and all I'm gonna say is that. So you think? That's all I'm gonna say, because he's not gonna get the chance to reap it, man. Because what they just did is they took away two of their best defensive players, right? They're setting themselves up to go get everything else they need to build this team and go forward, man. But I don't think they're gonna let Aaron Glenn sit there and reap the benefits of that and build it the way he wants to. They're not. He doesn't have the cachet to do it. So, but back to better and more funner news for us, right? Yeah. We were in the point, and I was talking to our good buddy John Herndon, and John was like, "Man, what do you mean 2027?" Because we were to the point we were ready to throw this thing away. You know, hey, this team is not ready to compete until 2027. Get these other 2 draft picks in, but by them going out and getting Wilson and then and getting Quinnen Williams, I think what you did is you started the process of finding out who you're going to add to this defense. So now with Quinnen, I think you go from my number was like 9. Now you're down to maybe 7 to 5 new defensive players you need to go get to make this thing go the way you need to make it go.
I'm not mad at that, man. I'm not mad at that. I feel like this is one of those trades that gets Jerry Jones thinking how he's all bold and how he's that expensive gambler, you know.
Because
win now mode. That's probably how Jerry Jones thinks he is right now after making that trade. And this of the 2 trades, you know, Logan Wilson was a good trade. I've said, okay, filled the need, it was cheap, etc. This was a great trade. This was a great trade through and through. You were able to offload a drafted talent that wasn't living up to expectations.
Wait a minute. Whoa. We're never gonna put talent and Mozzie in the same sentence. Stop that. We were able to unload a guy we drafted with a first round grade and get something back. But you said something real suave. You said something real suave while we were talking earlier today. You said you basically said, you know, if you lined up these trades together, this is what it looks like. It looks like.
Allow me to elaborate.
Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, you know,
in totality, the Micah Parsons trade ended up being as follows: you gave up Micah Parsons, Mozzie Smith, and the second rounder for Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and a first rounder.
Okay. Right.
In my eyes, giving up a top of the top edge rusher talent.
There you go.
A top of the top interior defender talent, and a serviceable player in the same role. In my opinion, that is a win. Alongside probably moving up like 20 picks in that 1 year's draft.
Okay.
Because where
I don't
you're
think
at, where
I don't
you're
think
at,
you're moving up 20.
you don't
You're
think
not
so?
moving up 20.
Where
No,
Green Bay is at?
no. Green Bay's probably gonna end up with a better record than you.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So you got to think they're going to be lower in the first round.
Right.
You know, probably around like anywhere from 26. You know what I'm saying? To 28. Somewhere around.
But your goal in getting these draft picks, you want the team that you're getting, you're trading a player to. You want them to be worse than you, so that there's a higher pick. Your pick is going to be higher than Green Bay.
Shout out to them losing, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you didn't do no favors by losing your damn self. So it was a wash. But what you're saying makes absolute perfect sense. You end up getting an explosive. You got an explosive guy in your interior line. Yep. Kind of moving towards out of his. Well, he might be kind of. Well, he's 6 years in.
Quinnen Williams only 27, dog.
Okay, 27, 20. So he's about to move.
He's still in his physical prime.
Okay, so he's moving into his physical prime. Micah is definitely in his prime, moving more into his physical prime. So that's kind of a wash there. But I think you win this by offloading Mozzie, right? Getting Kenny Clark and getting that first round draft pick. That's why I think you win this trade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that overall, for the totality of your defense, for what it's worth, Micah wouldn't have been able to help this by himself. I ain't gonna lie to you. Micah would not have been able to help this defense by himself. But the reason I'm saying, okay, go ahead. I just don't. Okay, go ahead. You have your two guys in that interior, where now the interior of your defensive line is probably the strongest point on your defense, and then just the cherry on top of getting a serviceable linebacker. He's serviceable. Excuse me, for 2025 can be a real piece in 2026 and beyond. I think that you have more room to help out the other guys, because if your interior is solid on your defensive line, that makes your linebackers' job a lot easier. Quinnen Williams being doubled means that whoever is your Mike, whoever's your Will, etc., they could be free. Yeah, Quinn's gonna help you out. Okay, I'm not even knocking that by leaps and bounds. My whole thing is that Micah ended up taking his defense from last year when he was playing, when they were a top 5 defense. He was able to take some of those same guys outside DeMarcus Lawrence, outside of Jordan Lewis. You had Hooker and you had Donovan Wilson. He still helped elevate this defense. But I think because he's an explosive player, that helps him do that. Quentin is kind of in that same realm, just an interior guy. But I think he's going to be able to help our DNs and things of that nature. But like you said, I think Logan Wilson is the one that really helps out a lot, because you get an opportunity to solidify that middle. Him ease his way back into the rotation. Also, with the addition of Overshown, who will be coming back and playing. And then I don't think I have to rush Overshown or have to overplay Overshown, because I'll have Wilson, I'll have Luafau, I'll be able to go ahead and play Shamar James. Then I can kind of ease Overshown into it. So both of those guys will come back to who they are next year in 26. Does that make sense? Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if healthy, you kind of have the same expectation of improvement from Wilson that you kind of apply to guys who get hurt, like Overshown. Overshown is probably going to make his first appearance against the Raiders, because we're going into the Cowboys bye week. Now that I'm trying to adopt your way of thinking, I think that Overshown isn't going to be himself. Just because he's just coming back from a second surgery and all of that. Yeah, a positive mindset helps a lot. But like you say, after you get a year from that injury, then you can kind of be a little bit more of an elite athlete. And that is probably going to be the case here. If not, that's at least the mindset that I'm thinking. I think he'll be, and you're right. And so I think he'll be able to be DeMar Overshown, guy who can do some of the things he's normally do. He won't be DeMar Overshown, super athlete,
until next year. Now, the guy who I think will start really and we haven't talked about him is Sharon Ravel. He'll be back, and now he's into that. He's almost like
he's
over
a year through because he got hurt in September.
Right. So now
him taking so long to recover could be a slight cause for concern, right? But he's over a year removed from his injury so far.
I think they're really trying to ease him and get him really super comfortable, and they've been able to do that because Elam's been able to play pretty well. They've been able to pick up some guys, but he's definitely a guy who I'm looking forward to seeing after the bye week. So I expect to see him come back, Overshown come back, and get get Wilson into the mix of this thing. So this defense is going to look a lot different going forward, and the goal is to get to 9 games to try to salvage this thing to get it to the playoffs. And that's always going to be the case, with Rain. Then they've been able to get to the playoffs when he's been able to be healthy and have winning season. So that's what we're looking at right now.
Sure. Now I do believe that if you have Wilson in there, I think that allows DeMarvion Overshown to be at the wheel instead of the mic, because I think they might have been desperate enough to put him at the mic.
They were never going. He was never going to be a mic. He's not. So? Nah, he's not the lineup guy. He's the go find. He's Bobby Boucher, man. He's exact same thing with Micah. I'm not a guy who's going to know, hey, you go this, you go do that. I'm an athletic beast. Just show me, point me where I'm supposed to be at, run, go get the ball. That's what he does. He does. So I never thought Overshown was going to be that. I think Wilson was definitely going to come and be the mic. They were hoping that Sanborn was going to be elite enough to be able to be that guy. He wasn't.
I can't remember. Did they put Sanborn on IR?
I don't know what they probably did. And I'm hoping he's on his way back soon because I need him at depth. Anything I can do to keep Kenneth Murray off the field, it really don't matter. Ooh. Anything, yeah.
Chris, you almost made me break into prayer.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with sending up some embers, man. To the Most High to get what you want, man. Prayer changes things.
Absolutely.
Prayer changes things.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think that the combination of these two trades and then probably. Chris, let me ask you this. Williams is definitely a starter on that defensive line, right? What do you do with Kenny Clark and also Odigizua?
Come again?
What do you do with Kenny Clark and Osa? Who gets that starting role?
I mean, it really goes. Honestly, I think it's a 3-head. I think it's a 4-headed monster. I think you can do so many different things. If you want to go big, you can always go big inside with Quinnen and Kenny, and then you can turn around and bring Solomon on one side and put Osa on the other side if you want to kind of get big. In that way, you want to stop the run and certain things. Kind of playing Solomon as an edge and Osa as an edge if you want to go that direction. But if I'm starting in my base, I'm probably going to start this first couple of games coming out. It's still going to be Kenny Clark. But I'm going to rotate and kind of break off that rotation between those 4 guys and just mix and match. I can if I'm trying to rush the pass, I'm going to go with Quentin and Osa. If I'm going to load up and try to stop the run, I might go Solomon Thomas. I might go Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams. I might turn around and flip it when I'm trying to give a breather. It'll be easier for me to get more with Solomon Thomas. And then I can match it with Kenny Clark. So it's kind of going to be like, whatever the situation, because you have 4 guys that can play, that can give you quality snaps. Beforehand, you had 2 guys who can give you quality snaps. But when it wants to stop the run, I definitely think I want to go with Clark and Quentin Williams to get the run stopped and penetration in certain areas. So that's what I'm looking.
This might be a way too soon question then. So would you consider trading Osa in the offseason?
Why would I trade him? This is the reason why I wear this hat. Because those are the moves that a guy he tries to be cute. Why not figure out how you got money in the bank, find out a way to compensate these guys to start building a kind of just kind of cohesiveness in the certain rooms and keep it explosive. If I've got Olsen, I just signed him, right? He's still young. He's the younger of the four that you're looking at right now, the guys you got. So keep him. Now, let me figure out how I can keep Kenny Clark here, right? Give him some money because I don't have to pay him a lot of money. He's owed $20 million according to his contract, but none of it's guaranteed. So you can find a way to make that money work. You know what I'm saying? Sign to extension, get him some new money, flip some stuff to the backside, and make that work. Quinnen, you already got for a whole year when you're going to have to pay him $20 million because that's what his contract says. But maybe you can get ahead of the contract and turn around. Hey, let me go ahead, let me spice this thing up, get him some new money, kick it down, because now if he's 28, his athletic prime is 28, 29, 30, 31. He doesn't start become like, oh, I don't know, until that 32. So you got an opportunity to get this thing spaced out and solidify your defensive line. Just like you're sitting here right now saying, I want to keep Rain, CD, and George and Ferd together to solidify my wide receiver room. Let me start doing that on my defensive side of the ball as well.
Okay. And Stevie Mack even in the comments added on top of that said, I don't think anyone want Osa's contract until Dallas needs a part of it. Which but I do think this. I think that Osa's contract is really just like a 2-year deal because it's so front loaded. So really after 1 year, you might be able to do a little something like, you know. I
don't want to do anything with that because I think with the additions that I bring in the 26 draft and the players I bring in to do certain things there, I want to see how all that gels out. This year, I just really need you to be active in free agent. I don't need you to be the first day. You already got one guy you already got your day one guys you want to sign. That's your splash guy. Once you get him signed, I don't need anything else. But I still need to be able to solidify my linebacker room, add a depth piece for my secondary. Okay, find a depth piece for my secondary because I think you can you've got enough cornerbacks, even with you making Diggs a June cut. You got enough cornerbacks that you want to see who can play. I think Ravel's going to be good. You've already played Bland. Elam has been serviceable. I think the safety room has been up in the air. But like I said, we're talking off season stuff. I still think you can get to those 5 to 7 players in legitimate free agency.
Well, if you want to talk about guys who are free agents at the moment in your cornerback room, Asante Samuel just got cleared.
First off, though, don't mess up my assist like that. You saw how sweet I left that thing, drop that thing to you right there, so you can just take that thing straight to the rack. I wasn't even trying to do it, man. That was real MJ.
You know the D Wade and LeBron meme.
Yeah. You saw how I threw that thing to you, man. Yeah. So go about that offseason guy you were talking about.
So Asante Samuel Jr. he had to have spinal fusion surgery. Crazy, scary surgery. I was talking to somebody today. I was talking to one of the plugs about this, and they like spine and neck stuff scares me because we got the history with it. Tony Romo, Sean Lee, and JJ Watt famously said this, and I thought about this all the time. He said, once it's a neck, it's always a neck. Okay. So with Asante Samuel Jr. being someone that when the offseason first started, it was like, okay, he's not gonna be ready to July. And then when July came around, it was like, oh well, he has to wait until he gets a second opinion in October. And then all of October happened and we didn't hear a thing. That was one of those. It made my hands sweat a little bit. Made my brow perspire, Chris, because at that point I'm like, I wouldn't even want to touch him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to be bothered with him. So that would be a very scary signing. But in a lot of ways, your defense can use a player in that level of the defense as well. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you got him here in your building, right? Got him here in your building, and you didn't have to rush him back, right? And because he wants to play football, right? Low risk, extremely high reward. In a room where you need players.
Sure,
You need
but
players.
it's like adding another injured player to a room that has a lot of injured players.
I mean, but okay, that is true. But let me ask you this question: when healthy, is he better than Kalen Carson?
Absolutely. Come on now.
Oh, okay. I just want to
Yeah.
ask you, when healthy, is he better than Josh Butler?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When healthy and not in the doghouse, is he as good or as good as Trayvon Diggs?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that they were very comparable when healthy.
Okay. All right. So if I can bring him in, if I can get some, because for me to get to the playoffs, let's just be told, I got 8 games. I'm trying to get to the playoffs.
You got to win 6 if you want to make it.
And I got to win 6. I got to win 6.
That's rough.
Right. That's rough. So
Yeah.
let me get as many good players as I can to get me whatever I can get from him for this season. And if he comes in and he plays and he stays healthy, that's an added boost to the point where you can use him going into the offseason. Hey man, I gotta kick the tires on everything possible because I got an all pro corner that we're not even gonna probably ever see suit up for the Dallas Cowboys ever again.
You don't think so?
There's a great chance I don't think he suits up again.
I gotta ask that question.
Okay.
Once the show is done, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, we'll slide that over there. You know, get to the salt and pepper lounge and maybe ask.
Hey, look, Chris, my phone is not golden. It's
yeah.
stainless steel though. Stainless steel though.
So I'll ask you a question. Go with it.
But yeah, Chris, man, like, sure, I do think that if he were to sign with someone for this year and more than likely next year, it would be an extremely low risk contract.
Absolutely.
But it's like, do you want to put yourself through the woes of having to depend on a guy who could?
Why not?
I'm not.
I mean,
you're sitting like this, but his life could be changed in an instant. Let me say it that way.
I understand, but he understands that because he wants to play this game.
Yeah.
He understands that. 1, he's an undersized guy. 2, he's a feisty ball player, so he's going to have to play physical. He's known that his whole life. He's gotten himself in this position right now to be able to go out and say, hey, come talk to me when I'm 100% healthy. If I'm not 100% healthy, I don't want you to talk to me. But he's also put himself in a position where he can pick and choose where he wants to go. We can call all he wants to, but he might say, hey, listen, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to try to go out with a team where I can have an opportunity to win it all. So we may want him. Here's the beautiful thing. He may not want us.
There we go.
And so, he's got that.
You always got that. People always got that one person that want them, that been looking at them, that been checking them, but they just
just don't want you. She just don't want you. So that's how it is, man.
Yeah.
What else you got, boss?
I think that these 2 trades bring Dallas' defense from, how would I want to word this? Mediocre to
slightly
respectable. From embarrassing, I'll say from embarrassing to respectable.
Okay, I'll give you that. That that's on paper. So what? So you know what this does? Here you go. It goes from having an excuse to not having any more excuses.
Especially on defense.
Especially on defense. Yeah, especially on defense. Because I think the additions you'll get along with Quinnen Williams and with Logan, with Logan Wilson, along with Ravel and things of that nature, I think you have no more excuses. I don't think you have any more excuses.
I agree, especially because Coach Whitecotton, our defensive line coach, was the Jets defensive line coach for all of Quinnen Williams' career.
Right.
And then you kind of bring that along with Solomon Thomas, who was there at that same time. At this point, you got to say your coaches have familiarity with some players now, so now they should be able to help that group.
Yeah, I just think you got rid of. I think once you got rid of the guy you had to always question about, is he going to come and be prepared and work hard, and moved him on. Shaheem, you'll deal with that. But you'll see a better output from the interior. I think the outside guys are getting better. They're kind of finding filling their roles and things of that nature. Izzy, Jadeveon Clowney, Houston, even Fowler. Your outside guys are doing good. Now let's go and get the interior guys going.
Now, one person that this does not bode well for is Jay Toia. his snaps are going to be super, super limited
Um,
for the rest of this season.
I think it was that. I think that should have been the plan the whole way. But Mozzie was so bad that Jay was, putting in the effort that he had to help him with this rotation. But I think he'll also be able to learn, continue to learn and develop. Play less, take less time of being washed and on the ground as he normally does, and then turn around and make strides into next year. Because some kind of way, if this doesn't work out with the money, you're going to be looking for Jay to be one of those guys. Plus, you only have Solomon Thomas on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, that's a very temporary thing. Yeah, and then I'm not even gonna say probably. He just gonna have to figure out where the next stage of his career takes him. His next destination. And he's a vested veteran. So
that's it.
He'll be able to enjoy that. But yeah, man. I think that they're going to have to figure out the money situation, especially up front next season. And then, Chris, we still got 2 first-round picks.
Two first
round picks.
The second rounder we don't have, but we usually mess over second rounders.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay, Chris. That second rounder, you can have that. Because that second round pick turned into guys like Luke Schoonmaker, guys like Kelvin Joseph. You know what I'm saying?
So you're looking at that. So you don't have that problem. I think you can still make hay this year in the 26th draft because you got that first. You can probably mess around and get another first in the 27 of the 27 you gave. So I think they're going to maybe go a couple. The goal is for the next 2 to 3 years, you end up going in with multiple first round picks and be able to move and maneuver in certain areas, which will help your football team by leaps and bounds. They don't have a problem. Listen, man, they have no problem picking from 1 to 32. That 33 to 55, 60 joint, man, goodness gracious, terrible.
They can't get right.
Man, they can't get right. They messed that off many a time.
So after looking at it a bit, Chris, remember we talked about how many draft picks the Cowboys have after these trades for today. So after giving up the 7 and the 2 in 2026, the Cowboys go into 2026 draft with 2 first-round picks, a 5th-round pick. 3 5th-round picks, and 1 7th-round pick.
Right.
Okay. So, and a 4th-round pick as well. Excuse me. And with the comp pick formula, because we had some guys that went and got paid elsewhere, we could still be looking at 2 5th-round picks and a 6th-round pick that we could potentially get in comp picks. So you could be looking at walking around with 5 5ths, as many as 5 5th-rounders and 2 and a 6th-rounder in your pocket as well.
So I think what that ends up giving you the ability to do is maybe move around a little bit. Make some adjustments with those shifts. Maybe move it up to a high 4th, a low 4.
What I think it allows you to do is turn that 4 probably into a 3 if there's a guy there that you really like.
If you want, you can add some of that to it and sweeten that pie to get up there. But the thing about it is that the Cowboys usually do their best work in that that 4th, 5th, 6th round. They go find that they like diving in those. They love diving into those bins, man. They like those guys there. I mean, a guy with maybe a character issue, maybe a guy got hurt, maybe a guy didn't grade as well as that. But they're scouts. It's like the Cowboys have allowed the first 4 rounds. They'll let a coach have some input, which we all hate. Let's get it. We all hate that. We want the scouts to be able to scout. But from that 5th, 6th, and 7th round, they let the scouts go to work and they go find diamonds. They go find them.
Yeah, absolutely. DeRon Bland was a 5th round.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Come on. You got Austin Richards was a 5th rounder, and he was a what is it? Depth piece for a while. He's no longer with the team. He's with the Lions. Yeah. But yeah. I do
serviceable quality football players are found from the 4th, 5th, and 6th round. Even the 7th round. You turn around, the greatest 6th rounder, one of the greatest 4th rounders for the Cowboys, without question, Dakota Prescott, And
Yep.
even I think Chauncey Golds. When Chauncey Golds on a 4th rounder?
He was either 3rd or 4th. Let me look that up. He was a 3rd
Yeah.
rounder.
Okay.
He
Wait
was
a minute.
picked 84th overall.
So where was Osa picked at?
Osa was picked right before that at 75.
Okay. So your greatest 4th rounder, it goes back to being Randy Dakota Prescott. Deron Bland is another great piece you picked up. Jay Ratliff, probably the best nose tackle you've had outside.
Yes, he was a 7th rounder.
Absolutely, you had him outside of Glover. Outside of him, so Gilmore Glover. So you've got some guys that they've been able to pick and mill through, and they be really good, serviceable pieces. So I don't have a problem with them going that deep with those 5 guys. But I just want them to continue to keep the multiplicity, T.I. word of the day, into the next couple years into those rounds. That's what I want.
Yeah, for sure. I think that they can make a lot of it. Like I feel like Shamar James was a 5th round pick. He's doing okay. Excuse me, he's doing okay. And so I am willing to trust them with those late round picks.
Yeah.
They've proven that they can do things, man.
Yeah, but that 2nd round, I don't trust them to do nothing but
get it out of here. Get it out of here. I don't even want to. I don't even want to see the number 2, Chris. I don't even want to see the number 2.
From this point forward, I really don't want to see a 2nd round pick by the Dallas Cowboys, man. I really don't, man.
Get
rid of it, man.
Get a proven veteran with a 2nd round pick.
There you go.
You already know that you can't do anything with it.
Without at all.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris. I think that the Dallas Cowboys definitely improved as a team today. I'm not quite sure if they will be a team that makes a playoff run, but I think that if you win the games that you are supposed to, you got to steal 2 games from that gauntlet, that really tough gauntlet of Philly, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, and LA, the Chargers. You would have to steal 2 in order to have a hope of making the playoffs. And Chris, that is a very tough ask.
That it is. That's a huge ask.
That's with you winning the games that you're supposed to win. Against Vegas, Washington, and New York Giants.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're asking. So, you get those 3 that put you at 6. Put you at 6, and we're looking at you got to get 9 to get into the playoffs. The playoffs are going to be tough this year. To get in, the NFC is looking more and more formidable. The AFC is starting to kind of turn it around. You believe in some things you don't believe in, especially this weekend, especially when Indianapolis losing the way they did. Daniel looked like the Daniel we all knew he was. Like he came back. I was like, there you go. There goes Daniel.
There go that man.
There go that man. Mama. There go that dude. Not that man. There go that dude. And that's how it looks. So we'll be able to delve into that a little bit more. We'll definitely be able to kick that off tomorrow, talk about the league tomorrow, what we saw. We got a little downtime. And then we'll probably be able to deep dive even more about how this thing is going to look with Quinnen Williams and with Logan Wilson and with some of the pieces we hope to get back. I think this week will be getting acclimated with those 2 guys, but more importantly, seeing who's going to be back to be ready to practice for that 3 games.
This might be one of our a question from one of our upcoming videos, because we're doing mid-season reviews.
Right.
This might be a question for one of those videos, but you got 4 players in total who haven't been in the rotation who could see snaps in your next game against Vegas, right? Are you bringing Shavon? Is Shavon Ravel one of those guys that's looking to be back against Vegas as well, or is it just Overshown?
I'm never going against my better judgment. Okay. Those 3 games in 13 days has always been a gauntlet. It's always been crazy. So being that I get this week off to get a whole week for him to rest and play, I definitely want to see Ravel back. I definitely want to see him in the rotation. We'll be able to get more insight if our dude Trayvon Diggs is ever going to play in Dallas again. We'll be able to dig into that. And I also need to get a couple of my safeties back. I need to get my safety. is my boy Hooker gonna get back?
Yeah, that's
If
a good
he's coming
question.
back, how much longer I can keep Dono on the bench? That's
Mhm.
always my
I
favorite
would,
question.
I would love that.
I love the way the defense looks when he's on the bench, man.
Mhm.
Don't mind the brother getting a check because it's tough economic times for everybody. But I
Yeah,
definitely like seeing him on the bench.
and I did look it up. Today, Schottenheimer said that Overshown and Ravel are on track to be cleared to play after the bye.
Then so now it gets a little juicier. Everybody's on high alert because this thing can get away from it. Last night was you know put a big bullseye on Shotty's back. This
Yeah.
was a game that you should have won. Team
Mhm.
losing 5 games in a row, coming to your
Mhm.
building, you
Didn't
having a
coach
bad
well.
out and
Didn't coach well.
didn't coach them up. So that's always a big thing. So those are some of the things that they look at. So a
Mhm.
lot of questions to be answered in the next 5 to 7 days.
Mhm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And for what it's worth, I'm looking at this picture of Ravel right now. Still practicing with a brace on. Still practicing with a brace on. So, that's just one of those things to be aware of, to be
To be
cognizant of.
monitored. Yeah, you're cognizant
Mhm.
of. Definitely,
That's a
definitely.
word of the day right there. That's a TI word of the day right there,
That's it,
Princess.
though. That's it.
Um, Anything else?
That's it, man. 51, 52 minutes on a
Hmm.
Tuesday. On a
Yeah.
Tuesday, bro. Getting it
Hmm.
in, chopping in that work, man. Hey, listen, man, we always love for y'all kicking it with us, man. Rain, shine, sleet, snow, no matter what it is, win, lose, or draw, kicking it with us, man, here at Frankly Football, man. Continue to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the QR code that's up at the top, man. Share us out, man. Let your friends know who we are, man. They might want to find out how to get one of Brandon's snazzy hats. They might want to try to figure out who this random jersey is behind me. Whatever it is, man, drop it in the comment, man, section, and we'll definitely go from there, man. We're the
Hmm.
dudes, man, out here trying to make this thing pop during this time of the year where we really want to pack it in and start watching college film. But the Cowboys keep,
I'm dropping some film in 2 weeks, Chris. In two
but
weeks,
the
when I'm
cow,
back from vacation, I'm
yeah,
cutting up a video.
but the Cowboys definitely got us out here doing our thing, man, trying to give you the best content available, man. I'm your boy, Set It Off. That is my main man, Brandon, man. And we will forever be Frankly Football. So until next time, peace.